Well, I got nothing else on that. Let's see who starts showing up. Let's bring this to the all messages. So I do. The title's not a lie. I got some good news and I got some bad news. So wait till we get some people here. This thing. Guys, you are going to want this. I'm telling you right now. You're going to want this. We got to talk about this a lot today. So let me get this light off. There we go. There we go. That's better. So this is my knife design. And we've talked about this before. Hello, Rickard. You got to give me a second to respond. So we've talked about this a couple times. So this is my new knife design. The actual final release date is the 1st of next month. And I've been testing this. I don't know if you guys can see. I have tested this extensively. It's been resharpened. I resharpened it once and just gave it a quick sharpening at the very front. And then I wanted to do the full, because this is a convex edge. I wanted to do the full convex on it, so I took some time and did a full convex resharpening on it. This thing is insane. I don't know what the dog is crying about. This thing's insane on how well it cuts and all of that. The action on this, it's never been apart. This knife has been carried almost daily for the better part of 6 months. It's in S90V. It has held up incredibly well. Sharpening these, we'll talk about that when we get around to it. So sharpening these can kind of do a number on the aesthetics, but the fact is, this is a user. This is a user. This is a heavy-duty use knife. Let me grab a piece of paper for you. I had a piece of paper, I thought, because I wanted to show you. Oh, for sure I had left this out here. So this thing, this is phone book paper. That is push cut. That's just touching it. So S90V takes an incredible edge. This thing has really, really impressed me. I mean, the design overall, I already knew it was going to be good. Design overall is based off of a smaller knife, the small fixed blade that I made. That's should be sharp. And I knew it was a good knife. I can't wait. Now there's changes to this and things like that. There is going to be some bad news. So let's see what everyone's carrying right now. I'm basically still in my pajamas. Oh, I had to deal with the fucking VA today. So that should tell you I had to deal with the VA today. So it should tell you what kind of mood I'm in today, because I've been trying to get my daughter's VA waiver, tuition waiver done, and it just has resoundingly been difficult. Every time I go, there's something new. So today it was that there was a form that wasn't signed by my daughter, and she's already gone for the day. And I'm like, look, it's her tax papers. And I'm like, oh, she didn't sign it. And I was like, they're submitted. She's not submitting the taxes to you. They've already been submitted and received and accepted. And I'm like, guys, if it's good enough for the IRS for there not to be a signature on this page, and she signed the application, what's the difference? Like, the IRS was fine with her electronically submitting without a signature. You said you needed the first. I don't know. The VA is enough to make a priest commit murder. Like, it will test the patience of Buddha. So at any rate, yeah, I'm really impressed with this. Oh, hey, look, the fucking trolls have showed up. Am I? Yeah. This is one of the reasons I haven't done a live feed. Goodbye. Find a different channel. So Yeah, 53 months, huh? 53 months. That's a long time. That's a long time as a member. That's more than a deployment. That's more time than most people spend downrange. That's several deployments. But no, so this thing being a full convex, when you sharpen it, it uglies it up. As you can see, it's not anywhere near as pretty. But this did not come with a full zero convex. I mean, it's really hard to do that. It's like a full zero Scandi, which Mora used to do. They don't do that anymore. If you get a Mora, it's going to have a bevel at the front. It's going to have a secondary bevel. It doesn't really affect that much. Like having a secondary bevel on like a Scandi or on the, what is this here? It doesn't really affect that much because those shoulders, especially the way I sharpen, it's going to be a convex anyway. So the first couple times I sharpened this, I just basically did a secondary bevel at the front. And as you can see, it no longer has that. It's a full convex all the way up to a zero. Way more time consuming. Way more time consuming, way harder on your stones. And the reason I'm seeing is because I don't see a pronounced difference. A lot of people are like, oh, it's full convex, you got to have it all the way up to a zero. I disagree. Especially if you're sharpening with a convex edge, what you're going to see is you'll see that secondary bevel. And you can see, you really don't see that on here. You can maybe see where I did a final strop with some stropping compound, but it's a full, there's no, as you can see, there's no real bevel. It's just that that's shinier because, well, I took the very front part of it up to a higher, how am I trying to say this? I used a loaded strop. And so at the very front, you're seeing where I used that loaded strop. So that's about an 8,000 grit overall on that. So it's a very good cutter. And like I said, I don't see a difference in the performance. Man, that is terrifyingly sharp though. Now, I'm sure that there would probably be some scenarios where that secondary is going to be, what strop compound do you use? I need to buy more. I don't actually use the strop compound. I find the strop compounds to be too waxy, too soft. I buy the chromium oxide. For most steels, chromium oxide is going to be fine as long as you're reloading. I get the hard one that you would use on a buffing wheel. And I load that onto the leather. It sticks better. It doesn't stick to the blade as much. It stays better longer. Even if it does shine up, it still does strap. And it's easy to load on top of it. So I use that green. They come in a 1 pound block. It's green chromium oxide buffing compound. It's the same thing. It's just harder. The wax that's in it's a lot harder. And it's easy if you need to reload your strop to clean it. You can just use, I use a ruler. I use a machinist rule, the sharp edge of a machinist rule, and just scrape it off, and it scrapes pretty much off down to bare leather. The other stuff is gummy and soft, and it sticks to the blade, and it doesn't do what you want. There's also a white compound you can get that is what Rockstead has. I have a stick of that as the, I have a stick of that, and I do use that on occasion, and it seems to work well. It's not like Jeweler's Rouge or anything like that. It's a white, like, buffing compound that Rockstead, and I can't, you would have to go to Rockstead's site. That's where I got the, that's where I got it. And it's just in a white cardboard tube. You just push it up and you load it. And it's the same kind of thing. It's nice and hard. And so it loads to it really well with some friction. And it seems to do a really good job as well. And that's what Rockstead recommended. And I got it right before I got this because I wanted to do it. Now, what I don't do is I don't use the denim. I don't use jeans material. Jared likes diamond. I like the diamond strop and paste as well. I find that for most steels you're going to be okay with chromium oxide as long as you're using it and reloading it. But I also do have the diamond sprays that I put on some other stuff. The diamond suspensions are good, but you got to look at which ones you're using and what you're putting them on. The stuff that Lacey over at EDC and Lace sent me, that stuff seems to be great, and it does hold up pretty well. But you do have to reapply it more often. So I mean, here's the thing: unless you're dealing with something that is like way up in the Rockwell, like we're talking about stuff like, you know, some of the crazy high tungsten carbide load steels and things like that, you can get away with the chromium oxide. It works fine. Chromium oxide works fine. There's some other ones out there that you can get, but the chromium oxide works fine as long as you're reapplying it often enough. You're not letting it get too slick and burnishing off your edge. And you're not just like using it constantly. I have typically, I'll use that real quick, like 1 or 2 passes, but a lot of times you can get away with just bare leather, like not bare leather, not like rawr, the bear, like just unloaded leather. But you can see, yeah, that's an 8,000 grit all the way up to a full 0. And if you guys are here, please drop a like. So yeah, this is launching on the 1st. So they don't have it listed on their website as like a coming soon or anything like that. Go to KATSU Knives, follow their channel, check it the 1st. But I will tell you right now, you can also get 10% off this knife. Now, I don't know what they're actually going to be selling them at. I think I know what map is going to be, but I can't tell you because that's all part of the contract and the NDA and stuff like that. But I can save you 10%. I will tell you, these are going to be around $300. Have you seen the new Kershaw launch 21? No, and that's going to get into some of the stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit, where we talk about the bad news. And it's not really like bad news for the knife world, unless you think me not doing videos anymore is bad for the knife world. But I mean, in all honesty, I see my analytics, and there's not that many people that are watching anyway, so what's it really matter? Just so good. And I've been cutting with this since I sharpened it this morning. I had a bunch of cardboard to cut down, and I'm like, ooh, hey, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. You know, so please drop a like if you're here. The bad thing about this is it's not going to be as available. So that's the good thing is it's a really well done knife. The bad thing is it's not going to be as available. Some other good news is, though, and I've talked to her about it, Melissa Miller, is getting one of these, and she'll have it on her channel. So you're going to get to see her take on this, because it is designed off of an outdoors knife. A small little fixed blade outdoors knife that I made for my daughter. It's meant for something along those lines, and the fact is, that's why I was pretty happy with it being a convex, is as a folding knife, it's more along the lines of something to be outdoor. I think this will do well as an outdoor style knife. It's not a bushcraft knife. I wasn't trying to design a bushcraft folder. It's just, there's too many limitations with a folding knife when you look at what bushcraft guys do. But as far as outdoors, with that full convex edge, it's that full convex blade, it's going to allow you some things that you can't do with some other knives, as far as like how it cuts material. And I will tell you, Scandies and convex, when you're cutting meat and flesh, are about the best you're going to get. Breaking down, like when we buy meat at Costco and cutting it, it's really good. Did Greg finally get kicked in the nuts? Who? I don't know who you're talking about. So I think that this would be great for, it's not like something that you'd be able to use for a lot of skinning, but something for like outdoor style stuff, where if you're cutting like camping and you needed to cut some meat or maybe skin a small animal, it does have enough belly for that. But this thing does have nice, I think somebody just came to my front door. Let's go check. Because I'm not using my wireless microphones or anything. Guys, I have gotten increasingly tired of trying to do videos. This we'll talk about this right now. I gotta check and make sure we didn't get a package delivered. No. So I'm gonna do a full video about it for everybody. I'm gonna do a full video about it for everybody, about laying out what's going on and the reasons why. But the whole thing. No, Scandi, if you're cutting, Scandis push material out of the way as well, because there's such a stark transition from the body down, and so Scandi is really good for that. They do a good job, not necessarily cutting, but like processing meat, like for cutting when you buy like a pork loin and you're cutting it into like boneless chops and things like that. It does a great job. So does this. This does a better job, but they're pretty good for it. And guys, please, there's only 5 likes. I'm not asking you to drop a super chat. Just drop a like. It'll get more people here. So here's the deal. You guys know that I started a new job. And so that means I just don't have the time. And when I do have time for videos and filming are on days like yesterday, which is the only day I get with my family. So I'm off Sundays and Mondays. Mondays, I'm usually typically busy. I'm surprised I'm not right now. A lot of times I wind up working on Mondays. A lot of times I wind up working a 6-day week. So with that being said, I can't keep up with video content. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I want to. Because I look at it, and this isn't like complaining, and I'm not trying to get you guys to drop super chats and things like that. I have a job. I'm working again now. YouTube was great for a while. And for a lot of years, I can't imagine having done anything and putting as much effort into it as I did YouTube. But the fact is, about once every quarter, my income drops by about half. And so we're at a point where right now, with my monthly income, I couldn't buy my own knife. And I'm looking at it like the time that I expend, the money that I expend. I've got microphones and lighting and things like that. I spend so much time doing things and scripting and editing, and I'm like, is there really a return on investment? You guys have no idea how hard it is. These are easy. Like, I'm just hanging out with you guys. And I may still do these. But the amount of time and effort that goes into a 15-minute YouTube video is literally hours. And so here's the thing. I don't think I want to do that. And I've seen a lot of other content creators that I follow, that I love, saying the same thing. We just watched Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch. He shut his whole channel down and retired. He's like, I want to spend time with my family. My daughter has got 3 more years of college. My daughter has 3 more years of college. After that, she's thinking about joining the Air Force. I mean, I see her for years. I saw my father in the entire career, in almost 20 years. I saw my parents about 6 times. I have to think about that. These are the last years that I have to spend with my daughter. My wife and I are getting older, and there's things we want to do, but if I'm stuck out here, like, I'm not gonna lie, one of the most fun I've had in recent months, and I'll show you, some of the most fun I've had in recent months has been doing things here with my wife because I wasn't filming. We started planting plants. We've got roses and we've got these, and we've been repotting all of these pothos, but we also did a big flower bed. We did a big flower bed. It's not my last stream. I didn't say it's my last stream, and I have things that I still kind of owe videos on. You guys haven't got to see like my final thoughts on some of the knives that I've got. But the thing is, those won't get done because here's the thing. The wife and kid leave for Japan. They're going to Japan to visit the in-laws. They're leaving. I'll have a summer of them being gone, but the fact also is I have to take up all the stuff. I'm trying to get you guys back in the tripod. I can't in good conscience dedicate that kind of time. Now, like I said, there's things that every once in a while I'll get a wild hair mess. I'm trying to figure out, hang on, I'll go grab it. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get this thing dull. I'm still carrying this real regularly, and as you can see, there's a lot of scuffing on that blade. That's still the factory edge. I'm still trying to see what it's going to take to get Crewwear from Spyderco dull. And to put that in perspective, I've had this knife for more than a year now, right? Now, it's not the only knife that I use. It's not the only knife that I cut with. But over a year, for it to still be that freaking sharp, to be fair, it gets stropped. It does get run on a ceramic hone, but that is still the factory edge on this knife. It's got a couple little spots on it. But what's it going to take? And I'm curious about that. I have some videos that I want to do about the cane sword. Today would be a perfect day to film. Unfortunately, my cameras that I use for filming the outdoor stuff and my microphones have not been charged because I haven't been filming. And to tell you the truth, I kind of want to take a day and sit down and just relax. I'm going to spend a couple hours with you guys. I've been up since 4:30 because that's what time I typically get up these days. I get up, well, I've been doing that for a long time. Guys, that is insane how good that is. And yes, I did design this. Yes, I'm proud of it. And yes, I would really appreciate it if when these launch, you guys buy one. Like I said, 10% off if you use coupon code crazysharp. Full convex, it's one of the few full convex knives you're going to see. It's the only one I know that is this style design that is a full convex. It is the only folding knife I know that is more of an outdoor style design, a big one that is a full convex. It's the only one I know of. I'm not saying there aren't others. I'm saying I have not seen one. So when I designed it and I worked with them, I don't know. I do not know. But here's the thing. I know I won't be. This thing all the way up to the tip, super, super thin behind the edge. Or, well, not super thin behind, super sharp all the way up to the tip. I will tell you, doing a full convex all the way up to the tip, the sharpening you have to do on it, it's time consuming. That's the only thing with this. And that's why I kind of am testing that thought process. Can you get by with a secondary grind? A secondary bevel? I think you can. I didn't see much difference. Well, but then again, like I said, this hasn't been sharpened to a full 0 recurve for very long. Only a few hours. I spent my morning doing that. So I think that's going to be something that I'm going to kind of, that video will be coming. Hang on, I got to put this out here before I make a mess in my wife's kitchen. I still have a bunch of Jared's knives here at the house that I'm contemplating doing a collection of stuff on. I have a video I want to do about, like I said, the cane sword and how cane swords fell into, popularity, and then the legalities of carrying a sword now and why some of those things are problematic. I want to do a video about sharpening a full convex. I'm going to do it. We haven't done one for a while. I haven't done a sharpening video for a while, but we'll do one of those. I'll probably do it as a live, and I'll have you guys overhead. That might happen. I am off. I have a 3-day weekend coming up. I may do that video the day my wife flies out. I might do that live, or the day after. I don't know. Not really sure. I have not decided how I want to do that, but I have that 3-day coming up. And it just shows how time consuming it is. And the thing is, it's a lot of rocking. It's the same process I use for my edge, which is why a secondary edge on this, that secondary bevel at the very front, when it had it, really wasn't problematic. Because of the way I sharpen, that shoulder was pretty rounded into it. And so just knocking that shoulder off is basically what I did. But I did thin this down. Like I said, sharpening it does take material off. So you got to be able to sharpen it down. And you can see where I didn't go too far back. So the next time I convex it, I may come further back because that's just very, very minor, that area there. So it's, oh, you know what I didn't do? I got to do this. I forgot to take my shoes off when I came back from taking the daughter to the train. I'll take that with me. I just got to take these shoes off because I'm in a house. My wife would flip out. So we can carry full-size swords in New York State. Not New York City. You can't even carry, you can't carry a fucking pencil in New York City. Unless, of course, you're a criminal. And then that's the exception. But yeah, I still have up here on this shelf, there's a bunch of Jared's knives sitting up here that still have to be looked at, like this one. This one has to go back to, these two knives have to go back to Winston Cabretti. And I honestly need to go through all the stuff back here and probably either sell or give away. There may be some giveaway videos. Might be some sales posts, because if I'm not filming videos, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not filming videos, I carry 3 knives. 2 of them you already saw. The third knife is my, hang on, I get it. The third knife that I carry, which is always in my pocket, is out here as well. And it's my Microtech Amphibian. So those things, those things are the only things I carry. Like the knives you see on the channel a lot, I very rarely carry much of anything else unless I'm actively testing a knife. And like I said, as you can see, this one has gotten tested extensively, as have the other 2. So it's hit or miss whether you can get a knife you like. It's hard to get companies to send you stuff right now. I don't know what's going on. I do carry as well. Sorry, I was dragging the tripod. The rubber feet were dragging across the counter. The fact is, I don't enjoy a lot of the testing process. I enjoy knives, but I don't enjoy testing. And that's why, like, people are like, "Whoa, you don't test anything. You don't test anything. You don't use your knives. They always look pristine." Well, 2 things we don't do religion. Try coming back for the next one. Come back for the next one. Try again. I do test knives, as you can, if I can get the light on that. That is all from cutting cardboard and things like that. We don't do the religion. We don't do politics. This is a place that's supposed to be free of that, and we try to keep it clean, because I do have some younger people in my audience. But so, yeah, people are like, "Oh, you don't test anything." Well, there's a lot of times that my knives wind up looking really nice, because I was a knife maker and I know how to refinish a knife. I refinished the blade on a knife. Which one did I do here recently? I can't remember which one. I just redid stonewash on a knife because it was starting to look scuffed and beat up. This one, I don't do as much heavy cutting with. This is like, but you can see that it's got some definite lines of, yeah, you can see where it's been cutting. I don't do a lot of heavy cutting with this. This is like my day-to-day EDC, love it, dig it, and I don't want it to get too scuffed up, because, well, it's a good-looking knife. But the fact is, I take this apart, I take these off, I probably could find a way to mask this. Fucking trolls. This a lot of times does a good bit of cutting, but it's like softer stuff. I cut my sandwiches with this and things like that. But the fact is also, this is a very good knife. The way it's built, the way it's designed with that drop down and aggressive edge. This is a very good knife in a self-defense scenario if I needed it and didn't want to have to carry a Pikal. I have not carried my Pikal for a while. This thing is just an incredible knife for day-to-day carry. The belly that you get from this being a recurve, with that belly, means that it slashes incredibly well, and it's still got that drop-down aggressiveness, so that when your thumb, it's in line with your wrist for piercing. So having taken martial arts, I'd be perfectly comfortable with this. And the grip you get on it is very, very reliable because of the way it's designed. And just probably all around, like I said, this is the best knife I've ever bought. That's why it spends so much time in my pocket. So I give up, to do videos, I give up things that I enjoy, which I'm not carrying the things I enjoy. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gotten problematic for knife reviewers because there's been so many knife companies, knife makers, that have done cease and desist and things like that. So you got to kind of temper what you want to say about a knife. So there's a lot of stuff you guys never saw because I got it and I'm like, well, I can't say anything about it because Rick Hinder's a prick and he'll sue me if I say this knife's a piece of shit, right? So you gotta pick your battles. Well, the flip side of that is I also don't ever give a knife a good review if it's not getting a good review. You know what I mean? I don't give a knife a pass and say, oh, it's a good knife, you should go buy it, if I don't think it's a good knife and you should go buy it. Any of the things you've seen on my channel and I say it's a good knife or this is one of the best knives, that's 100% my opinion. And people are like, oh, you get free knives, so you can't be unbiased. Well, the fact is, of course I can't be unbiased. Alex over Outdoor 55 says that, and I've said this for years. People are like, well, that's just your opinion. I'm like, yeah, that's what this fucking channel is about. It's 100% my opinion. Just because you don't agree with my opinion doesn't make my opinion wrong. And the harder you try to argue with me that my opinion is wrong, the more staunch and set into my opinion I'm going to be. For a long time, you guys told me for years and years and years I was wrong about Spyderco. I don't think I was wrong about Spyderco. Spyderco knives are ugly. One, yes, they're ugly. That's not an attractive knife. They got weirdness to them. That weirdness does make them very comfortable. So I can overlook that. I said they were overpriced. I still think they're a little overpriced, but the fact is, this is an American-made knife. This is an American-made knife. I love that. People are like, oh, you want to do Chinese knives? I don't. But the fact is, I can't recommend most American-made knives for two reasons. One, too fucking expensive. I am all about value. This is a $250 to $280 knife, depending on where you get in the crew wear micarta version of the Spyderco Military 2, right? That's still more than I think you should pay for this knife. Because even though mine came perfect, there is nothing wrong with this knife. The grind on the edge, perfect, out of character for Spyderco. There's no blade play, out of character for Spyderco. Are they good knives? Yes, they're very good knives. Are they worth what you pay for them? No. This one, $300, I want to say I paid $310 for this when I bought it. Is it worth it? Fuck yes. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised it doesn't cost more. This is worth more than $300. I put it in character, have $1,000 knives. This is a better all-around knife than some of my $1,000 knives. All around, for what you get, bang for your buck at $300, best knife on the market at the price. Right? But I can't say that about all American companies. Benchmade. I've got $50 knives made in China that are way better than any Benchmade I've ever owned. Right? I used to like Benchmade. That's a $50 knife. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to piss people off. This, if you get a Great Eastern Cutlery, yes, they're amazing. Yes, they're a classic American brand. But when you're looking at slip joints, you're not getting anything that's much better than this, especially when you look at the price difference between what a Great Eastern Cutlery knife will cost you and what a Rosecraft knife will cost you. These are under $50 for a slip joint. Gray, then you are blessed because every Spyderco I've ever owned until now has had an uneven grind. When you get ready to sharpen it, you notice that at the heel and tip on what would be the show side of a, well, it's still the show side, there's always a low spot. The tip is almost 99% of the time asymmetrical. Are they sharp? Yes. Do they have inconsistencies in their grind that you notice when you start sharpening them? Absolutely. Do they have blade play? Yes. And as a matter of fact, I have my other, what I say is the best EDC knife in the world. All around best EDC knife. It's not my favorite. So there's a difference between being the best and being my favorite. This is the best knife you're ever going to buy for EDC purposes. This is the Paramilitary 2, the PM2. Mine, ton of blade play when it came. Now granted, it was not given to me brand new. I can't get that any tighter. You can't make that any tighter and have the knife work. Blade play. And people are like, flip your washers, do this, do that. I have done everything that a human being can do in the reassembly of this knife to make it work better, and it still has blade play. Is it still an incredible knife? Yes. Does the blade play really affect the use of that? No. The heel on this knife was so fucking bad that I put a sharpening choil on it just so I didn't have to look at how inconsistent, because no matter how much I sharpened, I had a spot where the edge came up and there still was a low spot behind the edge that no matter what I did, I mean, I was slamming my stones into the guard here at the tang, and I just got tired of looking at it, so I made a sharpening notch. What's the hole in the blade for? For that. That's where you put your thumb to open the knife. This is, I just don't like the ball bearing lock. Compression lock is my favorite lock. Favorite knife, favorite lock. I wish that this came with both, but it would the aesthetics of that lock. And don't get me wrong, this lock is a very good lock. Right? Very, very good lock. This, in my opinion, is the best lock on the market. I put a sharpening choil on it, a little sharpening notch. But don't tell me that every one of your Spydercos that you've had, if you've had more than 3, don't tell me that the edges on them were correct, because everyone else in the chat is going to call you a liar, and I don't want to see that happen. Be honest. Because here's the thing, don't white knight for a company. And that's another thing. As much as I am friends with Anthony Marfione, if somebody tells me something about Microtech knives, I'm going to disagree with it, but I'm not going to white knight for it. You know why? Because those companies do not give 2 shits about you. They want you to fanboy for them. But they don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about your opinion. All they want is your dollars. And if you're already a fan, they're going to take that money. I'm friends with Anthony Marfione, but I would not go to Anthony Marfione's defense. Would I defend this knife? Yes. If somebody tries to tell me that it's wrong. Cutting board knife reviews. This is one. So cutting board knife reviews. Somebody asked me about it and they were like, oh, he did it and that knife failed. I saw the way he did the test. It was not a valid and fair test of that knife. If you grab a knife and you hold it like this and you swing it like you're trying to drive a nail with a hammer, the lock's going to fail. And he cut himself. And I was like, good. Good. That's karma. Devising tests and then having things fail. Like he did with Jared's knife. Like, you can find problems with knives. It's been more than a year, Gray. It's been years. I'm talking all the way back. When I started this channel, there were problems with Spydercos. I had a native that was an XHP that was a knife center exclusive, and it had problems. So it's not a new thing. And I get it. We don't want to admit that knife companies we like have problems. They do. Microtech has problems. This knife has a couple problems. They're little minor things on a $300 knife. I'm not happy with it. But if it was a $1,000 knife, I would be really upset and would not accept it. The further you go down the line, there's a lot of problems with some of my $50 and $60 knives. Do they affect the knife on the overall? No. Am I willing to overlook something on a $50 knife that would be, I would throw a fit about on a $300 knife? Absolutely. So you got to kind of put that in perspective. So once again, if you're just joining, I designed this knife. It's releasing soon. Super, super happy. You know what I didn't try? Now, I don't know how this is going to work because this is an 8,000 grit edge. Because I wanted to see what this would be like. I did not try a paper towel test. Let's go ahead and do a quick paper towel test. I did not test this. It's a very fine edge, and a lot of times fine edges don't do, oh, hey. A lot of times fine edges don't do well. I'm a weird angle trying to do this. No, it's not. It's a really fine edge. 8,000 grit is pretty fine for doing a paper towel test. Usually a coarser edge. That's one of the hacks and cheats see people do. It's so sharp because toilet paper. Like, no. Has nothing to do with how sharp it is. Has everything to do with the tooth of that edge. Let's see what this one will do. This is S90V, but it's at a different grit. That just came off stones not long ago, too. Yeah, it's convex. So, Greg, I designed this, and it is a full convex. It's a full convex all the way down. It's one of the only outdoor knives. I just did the resharpening on it as a full convex, all the way down to a 0. It's nightmare sharp. It is so terrifyingly sharp. But it's 8,000 grit. I wanted to see what an 8,000 grit edge would do. It'll probably wind up getting, now that I've thinned it back again, it'll probably get a secondary bevel at maybe 1,000, maybe 5,000. Don't know yet. So, but that has nothing to do with it being sharp. That has to do with the type of edge. This is the same type of edge, full convex edge on this, not full convex blade, but you guys know I do a convex edge. This is, I want to say, at 5,000. This is, nope. This is at 8,000. The tooth of that edge is going to be different. You know? The tooth of that edge is going to be different, and it's going to allow it to accomplish different things on different materials. It's no sharper. Be back. Try again next time. Not even gonna pay attention to trolls. So yeah, they're like I said. I don't know how many more videos you guys are going to get. You definitely didn't get one yesterday. Oh, that's right. I was trying to make coffee. So Coffee Brand Coffee, if you guys remember, they were a channel sponsor for a while. Still love the company. Still friends with the owner. I have a link to them down below. They've got some flavors that are coming up for their spring selection. They may already be available on their website. You can get 10% off with coffee down there with Crazy Sharp. But I got this one, and I'm on the fence on how I feel about this, because it's kind of chocolate and cherry. I like cherry with coffee. Like a cherry flavor with coffee is okay. But I don't know how I feel about the addition of the chocolate. I don't know. I really don't. But I'm trying to test it out. I do like all the other flavors though. But I got an Ethiopian because I'm part of their, what do they call it? The Roaster's Choice. It's a subscription through them, and you get a different flavor from around the world. I got that from them, and I really dig that one. But the problem is, that's not the flavor I'll get next month. I'll get a different one next month, which means that I don't know when I'll see that one again. And I'm not getting the full coffee pot out to do this. I spent the entire day yesterday. Like, I could have filmed yesterday. The plan was I was going to spend the whole day with my daughter. They asked me if I could work, and I was like, Sunday's the only day I get with my daughter. Unbeknownst to me, my daughter had made plans and was on campus until late yesterday, and then came home and was tired because she'd spent the night on campus with her friend Elsa studying, and she did not get my dummy. I don't know why I put the full one back in the sink. So I didn't spend any time with her. But I did spend the day with the wife. We spent the entire day doing a bunch of different stuff. Went shopping, made dinner together, hung out here. That's why you didn't get video. Those are the things that I've been missing, and I didn't realize how much time and effort I was putting into, and how much of my life YouTube was sucking up. It really was. Like today, it's a Monday. My kid's on campus. My wife's at work. I really don't have anything going on, and I'm not planning on filming. I'm probably, after this, going to grab my PlayStation Portal and sit on the couch with that furry gold house horse and just watch YouTube videos on my phone, or listen to YouTube videos on my phone and play video games. That's been my plan all day. I told the guys in my group chat that was my plan. Was that all day today? I'm just going to. Oh my goodness. I'm just probably gonna play video games the rest of the day. So I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna start filming again, or if. I mean, there's things. Hang on, I'm trying to see here. Like, we're not even getting on this live feed. We're not even really getting very many views on this. Way less than I typically would expect on one of my live feeds. So, but I don't care. See, that's the thing. These days I don't care. Like when I was working and when YouTube was my only source of income, I really cared. But now the fact is, I don't. Because I see how bad YouTube is screwing us for the amount of work that goes into it. To give you an idea, this month, compared to 2 months ago, I'm making less than half of what I would have made on YouTube. Now, a lot of that has to do with me not putting as much content out, but the fact was, YouTube started dropping down the amount that you get in revenue. And it's not a lie, it's true. The amount of work that goes into a video and things like that. The fact is, I went, even when I was doing videos and I was putting out multiple videos a week and I was doing 2 live feeds a week, I dropped to less than $200 a month on YouTube. You can't live on that. You can't even have a hobby on that. And to do that, to get 200, I was putting in full-time hours, more than full-time hours, to get not even enough to pay for a hobby. And I'm just not going to do it anymore. If I feel like doing a video, you guys may get a video. I'm probably going to do some stuff for the paying members. I'm going to tell you right now, that income, 100% from the paying members. I didn't make shit on YouTube. On YouTube actual, and that's because of the way that they're saying, like, how they work the system out. So don't know. You may get videos here, but the fact is, if I do come back, it might not be to YouTube. I may one-side everything and go strictly on Rumble. If I get the urge, if the creativity bug bites me and I feel like doing stuff, you may have to follow me. The Rumble channel is listed down below. May have to follow me on Rumble if you want to see anything I'm doing, because I'm just kind of fed up with YouTube. Right? I'm kind of fed up with YouTube. And I mean, I can do all the same things over there that I can do here. So it's just, I've not been happy with YouTube for a long time. So, and I think this is only going to be an hour. I think we got about another 10 minutes left. So if you guys got anything you want to talk about, I shouldn't do that. I know that's going to be very hot. Hot. It's hot. Very hot. But I see, it can't just be a coincidence that the same things I'm seeing and the reason I feel like leaving are right around the same time that I'm seeing a lot of other creators, big creators, leave. Outdoor Boys, same thing. He's like, the amount of work and things that he puts into YouTube videos, yes, he's been able to do things for his family, but it's become unsafe for his family. He's become so popular. He's got millions of subscribers. Outdoor Boys, he's shutting his channel down. Matt Carricker, Demolition Ranch, shut his channel down. I never thought I'd see that happen. He shut it down. There are people leaving. The platform is dying. And it's not just for knife people. The platform's dying. The biggest live feeds in the country have all been on Rumble. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, Quartering, all those guys. The biggest streams in the country. And you can say, oh, those are the biggest, like, right-wing political stuff, not trying to get into political stuff. But those streams, like, oh, yeah, the biggest, like, right-wing. No, the biggest streams in the country, period, have been on Rumble as of recent days. The daily live feeds that happen there, Monday through Friday, have had the largest viewer counts of any live streams happening other than like Joe Rogan. Like if you're looking at news and current events, those streams have been the biggest. So I think YouTube finally got, instead of a Buffalo Bills hat, well, because I like teams that win. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Bills have gotten better. But you can't tell me for a long time that it wasn't like a running gag that, like, if the Buffalo Bills won the Super Bowl, that indicated hell had frozen over. Like, there was the joke. Like, the guy goes to hell, he's sitting there, and he's like, oh, I like it here. This place is pretty good. It's pretty good. And so the devil was like, this is nuts. This guy's walking around wearing a jacket in hell. And so fucking devil turns the heat up. The guy's like, huh. It's not as chilly as it was yesterday. So the devil turns the heat up the next day, and the guy's walking around, and he says, this place ain't too bad. And so the devil's like, screw this. He turns the heat all the way off. And the guy walks out. He sees the guy, and the guy's like, he's like, how do you like it here now? And he goes, what the fuck happened? Did the Bills win the Super Bowl? Remember that joke? I do. Because I remember when the Bills went to the Super Bowl multiple times and just couldn't cinch a win. No, the Cowboys. See, the Cowboys, our vacuum cleaner quit working. I put a Cowboy sticker on it. It started sucking again. They're all in here. So you guys can say all you want, but I don't think there's a team that has more Super Bowl wins than the Pittsburgh Steelers. But not like it matters. I don't watch professional sports anymore, not to get into politics, but you kneel at my flag, I'm not going to watch your shit. It's just how it is. I'm a veteran. So, God, guys, I'm so stoked that this is coming. So, I cannot expect. You know what I may need to do? Is I may need to do a shaving video with this. We have not done one of those in years. I think the last one I did was it my Bowie knife? I think it was my Bowie. I think I shaved with the Bowie knife. That may have been the last one. Shaved with a tomahawk. I shaved with no, it was the butter knife. It was when we were still at the old house. I sharpened that butter knife, which is still sharp and in the drawer down here. My wife loves it. I sharpened that and shaved with it, and everybody was like, what the fuck? I think that was the last shaving video that I did. The action on this, guys, I gotta tell you, like, for a knife this is dangerous. I do have to admit. I think that we may need to dial that back a little bit, because as sharp as that is, that's going to send you to the hospital. What's everybody carrying right now? What's in pocket for everyone? What's in pocket for everyone? Oh, I didn't take my shot yesterday. Every Sunday. Sunday. That's my immunosuppressor. I take it on a weekly basis. It was a conspiracy against you to lose every time. I don't think, like, just if you suck, you suck. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Do you guys follow Louis Rossmann? So Louis Rossmann, if you don't, has done a couple videos about BWE, Better Way Electronics. Ooh, Microtech Bounty Hunter, UTX 85. Nice. Nice. I don't know, Bladed Ginger, I don't know if you want me to do a review of your design before it comes out or about the time it comes out. I can see about it, but if you want to try and get a hold of people to do it, I know enough of the guys that maybe we could get someone to look at. You know, I haven't done for a while. Let's see what the factory edge on this. I am surprised. Yeah, this is needing. It's needing to get into sharpening. It may be shorts that I do. I'll do some. I'm still going to do shorts, guys. You're going to see stuff. You're going to see a short here in a little bit about the knife. This one, it won't just be to music. I am surprised that Max Ace did not get a cease and desist from Anthony Marfiano. Anthony's big about cease and desist for people that steal his names, because he trademarks every name for every knife that he comes up with, right? So you can't have a knife called the Amphibian. He's the only one. You can't have one called the Platypus because that's a couple of other, I think that's QSP. The Microtech Whale Shark was one of the first Microtechs I ever bought. I bought a DOC and a Whale Shark at the same time. They were very, very similar. I liked the DOC a little bit more, and so I got rid of the Whale Shark and then kept the DOC. And as a matter of fact, here before too long, I'm buying that back from Will B, because I miss having my DOC here at the house. So that's something. I'm gonna take you guys into the living room, and we'll sit in there. I want to sit on the couch and drink my coffee. I'm really surprised that Max Ace did not receive a cease and desist. What are you doing, sir? I'm worried about him. He's not eating. He's not eating right now. So I'm really surprised. Now that was dumb, Mike. There we go. I'm really surprised that they did not receive a cease and desist from Microtech. Simply because Anthony's not, and here's the thing. Some people are like, Anthony's not wrong. He's just an asshole. I'm not going to argue. Oh, the Better Way Electronics thing. So there's this guy, BWE, right? He does software. He made some software that allowed you to troubleshoot a broken PlayStation 4. And apparently it was really good software. But what he's doing is he's another one of those folks like YouTube, where they just are like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. And oh, now we're going to just take you down for terms of service, and we're not going to tell you what terms of service were. YouTube is famous for that. From what I understand, it's getting better. But Better Way Electronics apparently was just taking away people's access to software and saying, well, you broke the terms of service. But it turns out that his software acts as spyware, and if he doesn't agree with software that you're running, or if you run software from a competitor, even if it's not software that would at all interfere with what you're using on his software for, he denies you access. He revokes your license to the software, which is illegal. And so this has been known for a while, and some people had done videos, and Louis Rossman had done a video a while back and was talking about like how, you know, he hopes he does better, and then it had kind of fallen off, and then he basically screwed another content creator, well, another repair company, because the guy needed the software, he hadn't used it in a while, he moved, and he breaks out the computer. And so at any rate, Louis Rossman does an entire series of videos about this guy, to the point that he shut the guy's company down. The guy came after him, was like, he did a privacy claim, and Louis was like, you're gonna come after me and my channel for putting out something that's truthful. He's like, go for it. He's like, if you're gonna be the bitch, be the whole bitch. He's like, I'm going to fuck you with a broken beer bottle, basically was what he said. And I was like, uh-oh, Louis Rossman might be the geeky computer electronics repair type, but he's also from Brooklyn, born and raised in New York City. I was like, his New York's coming out, and he shut this guy's company down, basically. This guy had to shut his company down. Turns out he's a PDF file and a bunch of other shit. He's trying to hide his identity online, and he shut his entire channel down, or his entire business down. And I'm like, see, you just gotta be careful who you fuck with on the internet. I got a guy probably might still be in jail for stalking and threatening my daughter. I love my Spyderco Tenacious. I'd be stoked to get a Carrington too. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it. Like, even if I can't do the full video, I'll do some shorts and stuff about it, and maybe I'll do a quick video and talk about it, like where they can pick it up and things like that. But what I can do is try and get it into hands of some other folks that I know. Impressed the Swiss Tech Wordig. Very impressed how cheap it is. Honestly, I don't think I've seen that one, but well, guys, you know what I think, and I'm thinking real hard about it, is that as much as I like all of you, I'm gonna turn this on and I'm gonna sit on my couch and play video games from my PlayStation 5 upstairs. You guys haven't? Now, I got this as a gift from a friend of mine. Sent it to me. I would never have bought this because $200 for something you can't store games on, I thought was silly. But the fact is, we don't have a TV in our living room. There's no TV in here. In this living room, this is a family room. This is a living room. We spend time together here. Send it to the Gilded server. Send it to that Gilded server chat. DM me on that the link down below, the community. I think you're part of that. Just DM me and I'll respond. I don't have it on this phone, but I still do have it. No one ever uses it, so I deleted the app off this phone because it was taking up space. I never would have thought that I would like this because you can't store games on it and take them with you. But the fact is, with us not having a TV down here, flip-flap, if the wife and kid are gone, and I don't want to have to drag the PlayStation out to the studio, and sometimes it's hot in the studio and it's nice in here. Sometimes it's just nice to sit here on the couch because the dog will hop up here with me and I play video games. Oh, guys, I didn't tell you what I won. So I won, forgive me for not knowing the channel. There's a channel on Rumble that I watch where they build the hidden, like they take vans, like Mercedes vans and ambulances, and they turn them into campers, like the hidden, like camper vans, right? And so I thought, what are you growling at in your sleep, buddy? So I saw that they, on a video that they did on Rumble, that they were doing a giveaway on their X account. And so if you followed the X account and commented on a certain post, you got entered to win. It was a big giveaway. And then they were going to contact you via DM on Twitter. Or was it on X? I can't remember how it worked, but at any rate, I think it was email. No, it was definitely DM. So at any rate, didn't put any stock in it, completely forgot about it. I won a YouTube TV 4K. And it was like, hey, you won. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I bounced it. I'm like, okay, it's probably just a fake. No, they were giving away things for in vans, like a streaming box, and they had like kitchen stove setups, like really, really nice one, like $500 like camp stove setup thing, a big tent, like a 2-story tent that they were giving away. But it wasn't one of the top prizes. It was a Apple TV 4K. the streaming box, right? And I get a message and I was like, yeah, whatever, I fucking won. It said, you know, you get a DM, it says you won, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And I go back and I backtrack and it was the right one. And I was like, they were like, send us your address and we will see how soon we can get it to you. Turns out the Apple store is just, there's an Apple store just like not even 45 minutes from me. It's actually closer than that now. We're here. It's like one exit that way. And I set up my address. They responded immediately. They're like, okay, we set up shipping. You're going to get it today. I got it that day. I was like, this is really cool. So there's a lot of channels on Rumble that you can't find on YouTube. And I'm going to leave all of my videos up on YouTube. I promise I'm not going to take any of my videos down. But what I am going to do is when I do come back and I do feel that urge to be creative and make videos and stuff like that, it's probably going to be on Rumble. And I'm probably going to do it the exact opposite way. You'll probably still see them on YouTube. They're not going to premiere. They're not going to be exclusive to my members here. They're probably going to be put up on Rumble and then auto syndicated to YouTube. So, yeah, I think that's how it works. So I'll only have to post to one place. We'll get it figured out. I'm going to do a video about leaving because I am going to leave. And I'll still do shorts and stuff, but you're not going to see me on here. I really can't justify it, the amount of time. You know, I keep myself walled up in that studio for sometimes 14, 15 hours a day. I don't spend any time with my wife, don't spend any time with my kid, don't spend any time with the dog. I don't have any time for me. And it just, for a while I was like, that sounds selfish, I was giving all of my time to you guys, and some of you were very appreciative, but the fact was, YouTube wasn't. YouTube was making money on my content. They didn't give a shit. Most of the people that were watching my content didn't care. And the fact was, anytime you mentioned the fact that, like, because like I said, YouTube was a full-time job. Anytime you mentioned the fact that, you know, hey, I have a membership, or hey, you can drop super chats or things like that, they got combative. They're like, oh, you're just fucking e-begging. And I'm like, you know what? That's not really fair. When you look at how much work goes into a video, hours and hours and hours of work, and then for people to turn around and ridicule you for trying to make money on that, when you spent that much, there's work and effort and things like that that go into it that no one sees. Jared Neves and I talked about this. Well, Jared Neve over at Neves Knives and I talked about this. He goes, yeah, he's like, a lot of times there's no return on investment. You put a lot of work, you'll put a lot of work into content, and people will just, you know, it's hit or miss. And it has nothing to do with people not wanting to consume your content. It's the way YouTube works that people just don't see that content to even know they want to watch it. So, I mean, it's unfair to people that put that much work into it. And then everybody's like, well, YouTube's not meant to make money. YouTube, when they started turning it in and people started making money, then that kind of changed that narrative. You can't say that YouTube wasn't about making money, because that's all YouTube was about. And so to put as much effort into it and then not see a return on investment just isn't, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's like wiping before you poop. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all the equipment. If any of you guys are content creators, you can always like hit me up on that Gilded server down below. Maybe I'll sell you stuff. I've got lights, I've got microphones, wireless microphones and things like that. I may keep those because, I don't know, there may come a time where I wanted to do something different. I may do a political channel on Rumble just for fun, resurrect the Redneck News Network, which was just fun. I made fun of everyone equally. I made fun of
I made fun of everyone, but like I said, I don't think this channel is going to be coming back. I'm not going to take it down. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'm just going to go away. And like I said, when I finally do completely do it, there'll be a video about it. You guys will see it. But like I said, I have to stick around. There's a couple things I have to do. I have to at least do some videos for the launch of this design so that at least people know it's happening. I'm thinking I'm going to try and do a live feed maybe with Jared about the launch because he doesn't have one anymore. This was the one that he had that came back. Knife. I need to get a hold of Metal Complex. He still has one that I need to get back. It's my prototype. See if he's going to do a video about it for the release and things like that. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit before the channel completely goes, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not making content. So, I think it's just going to end. And it's kind of bittersweet because since 2015, it's been a big part of this. This has been a big part of everything I do. You guys saw my kids skating. You saw all that stuff. And so for it to completely go away, it's kind of bittersweet, but it's almost like that addiction that people like. You've got to break that tie. You can get so far into making stuff that you just do it to the exclusion of everything else. And so that's kind of how I get sometimes with content creation. And the fact is, I've got to find something else to do. And like I said, I give up so much to do it. There's so much that you give up just content creation. To do the editing and the green screen and the amount of money that you spend on equipment and lights and cameras. I'm shutting this down right after I bought new cameras. So it is bittersweet. And I am going to miss this, but the fact is, it's like, how much of my life do I have to give up before I realize that it's a waste. I'm spinning my tires. And if I come back, it's just going to be for fun. But I'm really bitter with YouTube about how things have went, and videos getting taken down, and copyright claims, and privacy claims, and having to walk that fine line. Or you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't show this, you can't show that, you can't honestly review a knife for fear of somebody putting a takedown claim on your stuff, and then you have no way to fight back against it. And you know, I'm tired of it. And I had a friend tell me a long time ago, is when you have an avocation, which is a hobby, and you turn it into your vocation, which is a job, it can go wrong. And we've reached the point where it's went wrong. I turned it into a job and no longer fun anymore. So if it decides this wants to be fun, I did like if you guys don't know, I had a channel called Redneck News Network, and I made fun of everything that was going on in the political spectrum. I made fun of Joe Biden, I made fun of Trump, I made fun of DeSantis, I made fun of everybody equally. It was just that there was a lot more fun stuff on the left, to be honest with you. There was more fun stuff to make fun of on the left. But it was fun. I may do that. Because those were quick little short 1-minute videos. They don't take up as much time. So you may find me on Rumble over there, which that channel's over there. So I'm not gonna stay on here too much longer. I'm gonna spend some time here with the house horse. I'm gonna spend some time with this big guy. He's big. And might go out in the yard, drink some coffee. A lot of this too, I'm gonna tell you guys, a lot of this too comes from the fact that I've made some realizations in my life here recently. I have a new psychiatrist, not just a therapist, I have a psychiatrist. I came off of my anti-anxiety meds. I quit smoking weed, I quit drinking. A lot of things in my life have changed because of the proper amount of therapy and the proper therapist and the proper combination of things. And I realized that that it was unhealthy. YouTube was unhealthy for me. And so I'm slowly kind of coming to grips with the things that I was doing and self-medicating with alcohol and thinking that smoking weed was helping me when it really wasn't. It was exacerbating some underlying things. And now I'm off of anti-anxiety meds and I'm not drinking at all. I haven't had it's been since about December that I quit drinking. December's a hard one because my dad died around Christmas, and that was typically, I would get drunk like about a week before Christmas and stay that way till New Year's at a low level. I got anxiety. I have insomnia, and there's nothing I've found that helps. You know what you could do? You could watch some of Zach's videos. That might make you go to sleep. He talks about Benchmade all the time. It's not like you're missing any worthwhile content. It's just Benchmade. Zach stuff. I recommend Zach stuff for insomnia because it's just he may as well call it Zach's Benchmade stuff. No, I love Zach, and I don't get to spend. The other thing too is I don't get to watch any of the content that I want to watch because you spend so much time creating content that you don't watch anything. And so, like, I haven't watched a movie, I haven't watched TV, I haven't watched anything, and I think I want to start. I just don't want to be a content creator anymore. I thought I did till I really got into it, and then YouTube just broke me of it. About physical activity, I mean, yeah, try that. This you saw it was knife chat, right? Not like, hey, let's ask Mike medical opinions. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I may be a psychopath. I think I'm closer to a sociopath. Don't know, but that's not my forte. Oh, by the way, some people have said that you can't. Like, why are you releasing a knife? You love reverse flick. Why would you release a knife that doesn't have reverse flick? You don't have to have an aperture. There's a lot of space on that to reverse flick that open. Lots of real estate on that blade. Yeah, I'll stick around for a little bit. You know what? There's like 20 people here. We'll stick around for a little bit. Zach's here. I mean, plus or minus, however you look at that one. I have not gotten to see Zach. I think the last time I saw Zach over at Zach Stuff was at Blade Show West in Portland. And of course he'd be there because that's where Benchmade's at. So yes, that's my design. It's full convex. This one is the one that has been getting used. So I had 2 prototypes come. One of them is still at Metal Complex. So if one of you guys wants to get a hold of Richard and ask him if he could, if be ever so kind as to send me the white carbon fiber prototype, since I only have 2 prototypes. So yeah, I did this with KATSU Knives. This is the design. Fat carbon fiber is going to be 4 different versions. So there's a green, there's a yellow, there's a blue, there's a white, and there's a red, the Mars Valley. S90V blade, full convex, which you can see. I did sharpen it down to a full 0 this time instead of just putting a secondary bevel on. You can kind of still see the original secondary bevel, but it's all been removed. If you look real close, you can see it's polished all the way up, full convex all the way up. So it's a small little, it's not small. It's a fairly good sized knife. To be honest, it's not a little knife. I'm just a big guy. KATSU makes some of the best knives. When I started realizing how good their stuff was, I wanted to get in touch with them. That's dangerous with how sharp this knife is. Like, even for me, as a knife maker, knife reviewer, hundreds of knives under my belt, I find that scary knowing how sharp this is. I'm like, that's dangerous. That will send you to the emergency room. Can you guys put that in? Can you guys hear that? Here. That will cut you really, really good. Really, really permanent. For as smooth as that is, people are like, oh, the detent must be really weak. Detent's not weak. It is just like Jim Skelton got it. And he goes, he's like, I got that. He's like, I was messing with it. He's like, I thought the pivot was loose. He's like, that's the same thing I said about the Grimsby Norseman. He's like, that pivot must be loose as shit. He goes, I felt for blade play. And he was like, there wasn't any. And he was like, oh shit. So, yeah, it's a really good design. There's problems that come with it, like, so it's going to be a stonewash blade. It's not polished. Mine is polished because that's 8,000 grit all the way back to about here. So that's 8,000 grit all the way up to that very, very edge. As you can see, like I said, it has the appearance of a secondary bevel, but it doesn't actually have one. That's a full 0 all the way up. You see it? So there is no secondary bevel on it. Oh, you're so sharp. The problem is a lot of people don't know how to sharpen it. And if you do sharpen it as a full convex, the way you would do it, since it's not a polished blade, you're gonna get that. Now, I don't care about that. I may actually take this apart and put this in to take the stone wash off of it. But with this being a prototype, it does have a couple little flaws. I'm not gonna lie. There's a low spot right there on the actual, can you see it? Like right there, there's a little low spot where you can still see a little bit of the stone wash. Have you bought any new Spideys? Yeah, I have the Spyderco Military 2 that I bought last year. Are you talking about new designs? I have not. The only one that I've been interested in is that new Kapara. And it's not a new design. It's just a new release of the Kapara that they did. I think that's a Knife Center exclusive. The one that they did, it's, I think it's Burlap Micarta and S90V. But I'm not gonna buy it because, to tell you the truth, I like the Kapara, but it's not like a knife that I think I would carry every day. I carry I'm not going to lie, I carry the Spyderco Military 2 about as much as I carry any other knife. My back really hurts today. It's out here on the counter. Speaking of which, I need to put these things away before my wife comes home. The Spyderco Military 2 is really, really up there with some of the more perfect knives you're ever going to find. It really is. I dig a lot of the older style Spydercos, the Military 2, the PM2. I dig those a lot. As a matter of fact, I've said a bunch of times, PM2's in my pocket right there. The PM2 is probably the perfect EDC knife. It really is. Like, across the board, for the broadest spectrum of users, the Spyderco PM2 is probably perfect. I can't think of a knife that hits all the wickets it does. It's not my favorite knife. As you can see, I'm turning everything off. The studio is dark. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to see, this is how far we've gone. The studio isn't even set up. The studio hasn't been set up for a while. Stuff is a mess because I was looking for something, and I've got to get these all put away, my little mini arcade games. But the green screen is currently over there, back here. But I'm trying to get all of this reorganized and stuff like that, because I'm not... It just needs to... There's a lot of stuff behind that love seat that just needs to go. I don't own a knife sharpening business anymore. I don't need... Everything behind there pretty much is shipping materials. Shipping, packaging, and things like that. So I don't need it. But I carry the Military 2 about as much as any knife I carry. It's just a really good all-around knife. I love, like I said, the PM2. PM2 is probably about, for everything, for an everyday carry, for an all-around knife, it's probably perfect. As a matter of fact, I find it a little bit more useful than the Military. I think this is the best knife that Spyderco makes. It's not my favorite knife they make. My favorite knife they make is the Police. But it's not something I carry every day because it's just not quite as useful. It's a different style blade. It's a saber grind. This is a full flat grind. This is probably the best knife that Spyderco makes, for me, in my opinion, which is why it gets carried so much. This one is just a little bit better because the shorter blade gives you a little bit more control. Smaller handle, it's a little bit easier to use. The grip, when you get up on it, you're not as far removed from the tip. So using this knife is not as problematic for some things as the Military 2 is, because as you can see, a lot bigger. And the fact is, I have lost, with the nerve damage, I've lost a lot of the fine motor skills in my right hand. I've lost a lot of those fine little motor controls. And to have a shorter knife allows me to have better control. Shorter blade, better control. That's why skinning knives have big handles, little blades. You get really good control on that short little blade. So this is probably about the perfect knife. This is probably about the best configuration for this knife. Impregnable handles, you got the G10. I did dye these, what was this, sapphire blue. S90V, great steel. I think their heat treat on this is about the best heat treat ever. I mean, I've had a lot. This probably is about the same heat treat. I've noticed, because this is S90V as well. I love S90V. So when they asked me what steels they had available, when they asked me what steel I wanted this knife to be in, what steels were available, immediately I jumped in S90V. So this is also S90V. But like I said, probably just about the perfect EDC knife. It's just a really good size. It's just a little over, it's probably four, it's probably about 4. I don't know how big, I can't remember how big it is closed. It's just a really good knife all around. And then with the compression lock, you got one of the best locks, one of the safest locks, because you don't have to reach across it to close it. Just great. Now, I did recently purchase, it's not a new Spyderco, it's a re-release of an old Spyderco, but they did a recall on it because they got told it was illegal for them to import it. And that's the Spyderco Janusong. So I did get this. The big problem I have with this is I hate S30V steel, and it's S30V. S30V is really chippy. This is a really cool and unique looking knife. I do like it. I do carry it a lot because it's like a fidget spinner. I carry it at work because I work in the operations center. So I'm not out and about. So like I'm a lot of times I'm sitting at a desk and I'm waiting on radio calls and I'm waiting on comms to come in and I'm waiting on things and observing things via the cameras. So a lot of times I will sit and flip this and I don't have to worry about it wearing out the knife because it's meant for that. This is like the best of both worlds. This is the aesthetics and shape and everything you get from the coolness of like an OTF. More specifically, the old school OTFs that look like this, like the military, the NATO military OTF that you saw in magazines and stuff. There was a movie called Cloak and Dagger back in the day when I was a kid. And it had the kid from Elliot Thomas, the kid from, it was Dabney Coleman and Elliot Thomas. There was a bad guy that carried a knife that had this shape like this. And I thought it was so cool. And this does have that overall look, and I dig it. It's not a real practical knife. It's too thick. The blade to handle ratio is weird. It's not the easiest of deployments. Like they play it out like this is rapid deployment. I don't see how you're saying that having to do that little flourish is any faster than that. Because anytime you're doing crap like that, that gives, like, I took martial arts. If you pull that out, I have to worry about that. If I see you pull this out and start that, I'm gonna, while you're doing this flourish, I'm gonna try and knock that weapon out of your hand. Because obviously you don't have as much control. That's immediately what thinks about. I'm gonna try and knock that weapon out. Am I gonna get cut? Maybe. but I'm gonna remove that weapon from your hand, maybe. It's worth the shot, right? Something like this, that is quick. It's a very good knife for self-defense. Rapid deployment, really good control, you're up on it, things like that. So, is it cool? Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I agree. It's still a cool knife, Dean. Absolutely cool. I didn't buy it on purpose. The website that I purchased this from, I accidentally hit auto checkout. I had that selected, and when I added it to my cart, because I wanted to come back and look at the specs and stuff on it later, and then I realized that the second I added it to my cart, it did an auto checkout. And I was like, well, that was dumb. But in retrospect, I find it enjoyable. I don't regret accidentally deciding to buy it. I wish it was in a different steel. I wish it had a little bit better blade to handle ratio. But I do find it cool. It's got a really, really neat look to it. And like I said, it kind of reminds me of knives that I kind of obsessed over as a child. So, but no, the newer Spydercos, I'm pretty sure they're great. It's got a nice Cofton look to it. I don't like XHP either. I don't like everyone's XHP. I've never, well, that's not true. I had Spyderco's XHP once before and I didn't like it. That's why I got rid of my native. I didn't like the steel. And it's not necessarily XHP. It was their XHP at the time. But I'd have to say, as I've said, Spyderco's heat treats have definitely improved. This is a much better heat treat on this than any other S90V I had gotten to that point, except for full custom heat treat, small batch, 1 to 5 knives. You're always going to get the most control out of that. And that was Elliot Williamson's in-house heat treat on S90V, and I think he did 1 blade. When you're doing blades anywhere between 1 and 5 blades at a time, a small oven kiln that you're doing, you've got such good control of that. That's going to be the best heat treat. The only thing that's the only thing I would say that's better than the S90V heat treat on this. So I'd like to see how their new XHP is, because I do know that Cold Steel's XHP was amazing. Would have been interesting to see that in something like Rex 121 to match. No. Rex 121 would not do well in this because there's a lot of impact involved. I could see chipping and things like that. Like, hear that? I've seen Rex 121 break. And really, I don't think I would want something that has that much impact against the stop pin in Rex 121. Not saying the entire blade would crack, but like the point where it marries up would chip. Rex 121 and Maximat are super chippy. You can't tell me they're not. I'm gonna say I want to give this the benefit about the doubt. I've never had Spyderco's S30V. I've had S30V from other companies, especially Benchmade, super chippy. I have not done a lot with this because it's not like a real useful EDC. I'm not gonna pull this, like pulling this out in public, that's gonna have somebody at your house. That's gonna have somebody show up. They're like, oh, he's got a butterfly knife. Somebody, one of those little nosy Nancy's, is gonna carry it out and call the cops on you. So I don't pull this out to use it in public. I treat it like my pecker. I don't use it in public. I use it in private, as you're supposed to. So this, I could see, I could see maybe that Spyderco's heat treats have gotten so good that maybe we'll see how this S30V is, but I don't use it for much of anything. I treat it like, I'm not gonna lie, I treat it like a fidget spinner. I have cut some stuff with it. Nothing like what I would do with other knives that I'm just gonna pull out of my pocket willy-nilly and not give a shit who's around. It gets dirty too. It gets dirty and then the action gets funky. It gets sticky. And if you oil it, like this is one of those knives that's weird, like it almost has to run dry. If you oil it, what can happen is, because that inner scale is in, if you oil it and then the oil gets on here, it suctions up against the inner liner. like it sucks up against it, almost like ringing, like when you put two super flat surfaces together, then they get sticky. You have problems with that. It's the same problem that I had putting oil on the Exo Gravity knife. I'm like, oh, I wonder how smooth this would be if I oil it. Nope, don't oil it, it gets sticky. Does it run on washers or bearings? It appears to me that it runs on washers. To be honest, I don't know. I did take it apart one time to get something, get a look at something, but I didn't look real close. All I did was take the outer scales off. So I don't know. I don't want to lie to you. So it's still pretty smooth. I did wind up cleaning out all the oil that was in it. So it's, you know. But like I said, my favorite Spyderco, since we were talking about Spydercos, it's out here. We'll go grab it. I don't need this one in pocket. I'll tell you what hasn't been in my pocket in a long time, and I won't get rid of it. But it has not been in my pocket for a very long time, and that is my Sebenza. For as great as this knife is, I don't carry it all that often anymore. And I can't like tell you why I don't carry it anymore. Like there's not a reason. It's not like I don't like the knife anymore. I would never get rid of it. I had one, I got rid of it, and then immediately regretted it and bought another one. That thing hasn't been in my pocket in months. I have a lot of knives like that. That's one I wouldn't get rid of. That's the other thing with the channel, the way it is. I don't enjoy carrying a lot of the stuff that comes in. Like it's, let's see here. Sorry. This is my favorite of all the Spydercos. And we talked about it in a video. I told you why. It takes me back, because my dad's passed. My dad was an avid outdoorsman, as I was before I joined the military. Now I'm in California, and I try to be an outdoorsman as much as I can, but it's hard out here. You can't do the things that like my dad and I did when I was growing up. But when I look at this knife, it takes me back to like a rainy day, and you can't play outside, and I would lay down on the floor. There was a little love seat, and then there was an end table, and on the bottom shelf of the end table, my dad had all these outdoor magazines, like Guns and Ammo, and Rod and Stream, Field and Stream, and Rod and Reel, and they always had advertisements for stuff, and you would see the Spyderco police. And so it's not so much that this is my favorite Spyderco because it's so good. Because, I mean, it's a mediocre knife, to tell you the truth. It's not the most comfortable. It's not the easiest to carry. It's a little bit thin. It doesn't cut as good as, anywhere near as good as this one because of the blade grind and everything. It doesn't have as broad a sweep. You know, it's a narrower knife with that. It's a lot thicker behind the edge. But it does take me back to that and seeing this in catalogs. And I remember the exact advertisement. I can't remember what it showed, but I remember the picture, and it was like, it was a cop car on a wet street that had been rained on, and you could see the reflection of the blue and red lights on the pavement, and two cops were standing there, and then this knife was up on the top of the advertisement, sitting there, and it was open, like this. And it said Spyderco Police. And then it had the big write-up at the bottom. It was a full-page ad in those magazines. And this was the knife that they showed. And I think of that, and it reminds me of my father. So this is my favorite Spyderco. So, you know, don't get me wrong, this is a very good knife for what it was designed for, to give cops a full-size backup knife. That super piercing point here. Beard of the Weirdo, I just realized who put in that. Hey man, how you been? Talking about shutting the channel down. It does give you a lot of options as a second chance item. It's not, I mean, it'll still cut, but this is for pokey, right? That's a stabby, pokey. This is more of the like quintessential slicer, much lighter, much nicer balance, more towards the tip. Super, super good flat grind on this. Nice contour towards that, gives you that tip forward piercing ability if you do need to pierce, but you can definitely slash and cut with this really, really well. So I picked up a para 2 for the 3rd time. Yeah, I just was talking about the para 2. I think it's the best overall EDC knife on the market. Sorry, I have to check my other phone. I got the new job. There's going to be a video coming about it, but a lot of it's because I got the new job, and I'm just tired of dedicating that much time with no return on investment. And then the second you mention that you have memberships, or the second you say, hey, you can drop a super chat, people just get all pissy about, well, they're just begging on it. They don't realize the time investment and the money that goes into running a YouTube channel. And I'm kind of just fed up with it. Give me a second to check this. So yeah, it's just, it's not fun anymore. If it becomes fun again, I'll start again, but I probably won't do it because monetarily it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to do it here on YouTube with all the suppression that YouTube does. If I come back, everything's gonna be on Rumble. The videos will show up here, but I won't be loading them to YouTube. And if I do live feeds, I think coming in the near future, if I decide to do a live feed, it'll be on Rumble. It won't be here. It's just, plus the other thing is I don't see anything new that really speaks to me that I want to do stuff about. Like I said, I'm excited about this. You'll see videos about this. I'm excited about my release, my design release. Like I said, I have tested it extensively. As you can see, the fact that it has been resharpened to a full and I do have to say, with it being a prototype, there's a little bit of a flaw in the grind. You can see how much further back I went on this side than it does not. Don't forget, this is a prototype. It doesn't affect how it cuts. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Holy crap, is that sharp? KATSU's quality is so good. And then that carbon fiber, that logo is not gonna be on a pocket clip. You guys will see this. Melissa Backwoods over at Melissa Miller over at Melissa Backwoods. She's going to do some videos about this. They're sending her one. Yes, fat carbon fiber. So this is basically, if you guys have one of my Sea Snake fixed blades, this is basically the drop point version of that. It's bigger and it's a folder. It's a full convex edge. So a lot of new knives nowadays are either new steel, same model, or slightly different. It feels oversaturated. And the other thing too is that you can't, like, there's knives I want to do and people are like, oh, that knife's been out for a while. That knife's been out for, it doesn't make a knife any less great. This knife's been out for 20 plus years. It doesn't make it any less great. This one's been out for 20 plus years. It doesn't make it any less great of a knife. And for people, oh, I'm not gonna watch a video about a knife that's like 6 months old. That's why companies have so many models on their roster now. They constantly have to offer something new. Why not just keep offering something great? New doesn't mean better. 20 plus years. It's the best knife this company makes. It really is. It's not the best all-around EDC, but it is, in my opinion, the best knife they make. It doesn't have to be new to be good. And the Buck 110. Now, I know Peter Built Knife Guy will argue with me about Buck knives. I'm not saying that their knives are great. I'm saying the design is great. It's still a great design. And I absolutely would like to see a Buck 110 in something other than, was it 428C? But that's what my Buck 119 Special is, and that thing is ridiculously, frighteningly sharp, the edge it took. So, I mean, I get people get upset with Peterbilt Knife Guy because he's doing those hammering knife through a nail tests, but guess what? It's his channel. Even though I think that I'll say it out loud. I think that cutting board knife reviews is fucking stupid. I think the way he tests knives is ridiculous. I think that the way he does spine whack tests and shit like that is meant to make knives fail. But it's his channel. I don't have to watch it. I don't understand why people go on other people's channels. You will not see me go on cutting board knife reviews and tell him how stupid I think he is. Why? Because it's his channel. If he wants to be stupid on his channel, that's perfectly fine. That's his prerogative. If he wants to look like an idiot on his channel, I've got some stick that is, I gotta take this apart and clean it up and figure out what's going on. I got a little bit of blade stick, lock stick in my amphibian. It probably just needs cleaned. I don't have to agree with the channel to say that, like, I came to, what's his name? The guy that they took, the people argued and took his channel down, and he's just destroying knives. The foreign guy, I did a video about it. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. His content's not for me. I don't like seeing somebody destroy a knife. To tell you the truth, I don't like watching knife tests. I don't like watching them. That's why I don't film them, because if you film them, you have to edit them. And I don't like watching them. So, like, that's not my... Joe X. That's what it was. That doesn't mean I don't... That doesn't mean that I have to, like, go on his channel and tell him he's an idiot because of the way he does stuff on his channel. It's a prerogative. If he wants to destroy stuff that he paid for, that's all on him. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't have to agree with it, and I don't have to watch it. I do believe that the way cutting board knife reviews test knives is stupid and idiotic. I'm not saying he shouldn't do it, and I definitely don't go and comment. So people see Peterbilt Knife Guy, and I enjoy those. I enjoy him hammering and I'm like, nailed it. I enjoy watching that. That's the only knife test that I can say in a long time I've ever enjoyed watching. I find it hilarious. I find it humorous. And I am interested in seeing how knives hold up to that. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool. However, why have people got to go on there and just hate on his channel? Like, that's a ridiculous. Those companies don't give a fuck that you're going on there defending them. They don't care. They don't follow you. They're not reading your comments. They're just taking your money. Carruthers Knives with Delta Heat Treat has a knife chest topping through a chain link. Yeah. Uh-oh. My sister just texted me. So that could mean one of three things. She found something hilariously inappropriate on the internet. Something's up with my mother. Or something's up with my brother-in-law or the dog. There's a tie on that one. Let's look. It's the dog. She's been at the vet since 11. My sister's dog does not like men. He likes me. Likes my brother-in-law. Doesn't like most men. So men in general. He was abused. He was abused by and so they tried to have a male vet take care of my sister's dog. And so she's been at the vet for a while, taking care of that because she, as she put it, quote, wasn't having it. So, guys, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and I think I'm just done with this. So I have enjoyed this. I may do another one. It just depends on how I feel on my days off. I may do another one, but like I said, I'm probably done content creation, at least for a while. And if I do come back, you should go follow me on Rumble. If you are one of my paying members and you want to continue to support, I would ask, and I'm going to send this as a message to all the paying members, I would ask that you go and do whatever it's you're doing on this channel, go do it on Rumble. All of my videos are available on Rumble. If you want to support me on a platform where, like, I think, and I get more of it from. So if you're one of my paying members and you want to support me the same way you've been supporting me, stop giving YouTube your money. They don't deserve it. They've been taking a lot of mine. So they don't deserve it. So if you want to support the channel and continue to support the channel, you just go over to Rumble. You can just find me. It's crazysharp on Rumble. You can find my YouTube. There's a link to my Rumble channel down below, or there should be. I've already got a channel over there, and for a long time, everything I put on YouTube wound up on Rumble until YouTube was like, you can't auto syndicate that direction. So now Rumble allows you to they will auto syndicate your stuff for you. YouTube won't let you do it. Used to be if you put stuff up on YouTube, all you had to do was click a button, and it would send stuff over directly to Rumble. Everything, your all of like your links and all that were in there. It just was an exact duplication. YouTube won't let them. YouTube's a bitch. YouTube's a bunch of bitches. So there you go. See? It's right there. I already have the channel. The majority of the stuff I've put up in the last year is up there. There's some stuff that for some reason would not work correctly. I don't know if it's formatting of videos and stuff like that. So there are some videos you won't see, and it's not my full catalog. I may see how hard it is to download my content from YouTube and then repost it. I don't know if I want to invest that kind of time into it, because most people don't watch some of my older stuff. So if I do feel like content creation, that's where it'll be. And so if you want to support the channel, you can do it over there. I'd much rather that you. I would much rather see Chris Pavlovsky and those guys at Rumble get money than see the dickheads here at YouTube. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna start playing some video games. So let me get this turned on. This thing is actually a lot of fun. It's really cool. Connects directly to my PlayStation that's upstairs. So me and the puppers here. Chunk, come here. Chunky, come here. Let you guys say goodbye to the dog first. Come here. Chunk, come here. Hop up. Come here. Come here. You got your bone in your mouth like it's a cigar. Look up. Oh, why are you licking your foot? What the hell's going on? Why is it so wet? So, at any rate, guys, he and I are going to spend the day together. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm out. I love y'all. Take it easy. I'll see you sometime.